Hello, this is David and welcome to Make Me Proud, the video series sharing the story of my campaign to become a better sprint swimmer. And in this episode, I'm going to be conducting a technical analysis of my 200 meters freestyle race from the European Masters Long Course Swimming Championships 2024, which took place in Belgrade in Serbia. So for those of you that watched the video of my race when it came out will know that I came in with a time of 2 minutes 21.31, which is just 0.06 seconds off of my long course personal best for the 200 meters freestyle. And therefore I'm just going to be going over the race to see what didn't quite go so well, what I could have done better, and the things that I actually did well in this race, to see how I can improve on that 200 meters freestyle time and why I didn't achieve that long course personal best. So if you would give this video a like, I would very much appreciate it. For more swimming content, remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and for swimming coaching, head on over to westcough.com. But otherwise, without any further ado, let's dive right in to today's technical analysis. So I don't get off to the best of starts in this race, reacting rather slowly to the starting buzzer, and as a result I end up right at the back of the pack down the first 25. However, despite that, I do well not to lose my composure and go out too hard down the first 50. I make sure that I try to gradually claw them back in. My first tumble turn isn't great either, where I turn too close to the wall and as a result have to adjust my position on the wall before I'm able to push off again, meaning that I lose even more time against the leaders in this race. However, again, do well not to lose my composure and try to make up for that by burning too much energy too soon down the second 50, and again just gradually clawing my way back, where I turn at the halfway mark in third place, just under a second off of first place. From here though is when I really start to claw people back in, going nice and smoothly down the third 50 meters, really starting to get close to that front three. I've now put myself in contention for the victory in this heat, where I've managed to drop the other three swimmers. Going into the final turn, I come in 0.64 seconds, dropping a whole 0.3 of a second. However, the other two guys that are leading start to put the burners down a little bit more, where I choose to remain nice and consistent with my swim. I don't really clock that they make the move, and therefore I just hold my nice steady pace. As I approach the finish, I start to give my all and expend what's left in the tank. However, it's insufficient as the other two guys are able to pit me to the win. But despite that, I come in with a very good time of 2 minutes 21.31. So the three key technical aspects for me in that race that I'd like to talk about is, first off, my reaction time off of the blocks. Second was the first tumble turn, which I made a horrific mess of. And the third is actually a positive technical aspect, which is how well I paced that race, keeping my composure despite my poor start to it. So starting with the reaction time off of the blocks, absolutely horrible. And you can see that from the race where everyone else left me for dead off of the blocks. I really just did not react to that starting buzzer well. Perhaps it's because I didn't go into the race all that focused and prepared for it, where normally I need to just listen out to the starting buzzer at the start of a race just to make sure that I get into the swing of the timing after take your marks, just giving myself a good idea as to when that buzzer is going to come after getting in position to start. It felt like a very delayed start. There was a very long time between take your marks and the starting buzzer, which threw me off. You can see that I twitched slightly on the blocks. That may have gotten me disqualified with a harsher referee. However, I don't think that twitch was all... It didn't give me an advantage, and it wasn't all that great. So perhaps that's the reason I didn't do so. But the reason that happened was because I was expecting that starting buzzer to become a lot sooner. And when you're on the blocks and in position for a long period of time, it really takes energy to remain in that position before the starting buzzer. You're really wanting that starting buzzer so you get that relief of the pain of holding yourself in that position, which is a little bit annoying. I twitched because I thought that it was going to come earlier, and that pain was really getting to me, which meant that when the buzzer did come, I was in the wrong position to get going. So maybe just a mental note for myself, just to ensure that I stay in a bit more of a comfortable position before that buzzer comes, and also listening out prior to my races to make sure that I've got a bit of an understanding as to when that buzzer is actually going to come. Quite a technical, nuanced aspect of the race, and not something that is, you'd particularly think was obvious, or something that you'd need to think about before a race or going into competing at swimming. However, it's just these little things that occur where you really need to be switched on and focused that can make the big difference. So that is the number one point in that regard. The second one is the tumble turn, especially the first tumble turn, where I turned too late, meaning that I was too close to the wall, and as a result my feet got stuck at the top where they needed to come down a little bit further before I pushed off. Hence I needed to adjust my feet on the wall slightly before pushing off, and you really don't want to do that because it means that you lose valuable time. I probably lost a good half a second there, if not more, which again is really frustrating because I was so close to that long course personal best. Had I gotten that first tumble turn correct, then that long course personal best probably would have been a shoo-in. So really frustrated with that. Thankfully, I managed to calibrate myself a little bit better for the next two tumble turns, meaning that I got those relatively spot on, or at least they weren't as bad as that one, enabling me to keep my momentum throughout the course of the rest of the 200 meters. But really frustrated with that because again, it meant that I missed out on that 200 meters long course personal best, where based on how well I composed myself and paced myself throughout the duration of this swim, I really should have come away with that long course personal best. So really frustrating that had I got either the reaction time off of the blocks correct or the first tumble turn correct, it probably would have been a long course personal best for me. But alas, that wasn't the case. It happens in sport where you make a few too many mistakes and you get punished as a result of it. However, moving on to the positive, as I said earlier, was the pacing and composure with that race. Knowing that I didn't react well off the starting blocks, it meant that in order to recover from that, I may have wanted to go out a little bit too fast to catch up to my competitors in the heat in order to catch back up to them and put myself back in contention. However, I know that in comparison to a 50 meters and to a certain extent the 100 meters, which are sprint events where you just really need to go all out and as fast as you can, the 200 meters is a bit more of an endurance event, and therefore reeling them back in has to occur more over the entirety of the 200 meters as opposed to immediately in that moment. So I'm glad that I really kept my composure, that I didn't go out too quickly in this race, because I remember at British Masters Nationals in the 200, I was absolutely dying down the last length, where I really didn't feel that way in this 200. Yes, it's a 200 and therefore it hurts, and it hurts quite a lot. However, I felt as though I finished much better than I did at British Masters Nationals, where At Masters Nationals, I got the dive and the tumble turns a little bit better, which meant that remains my long course personal best. However, this time round, I felt as though I got the swim, the pacing, the composure and the control of that a lot better at Europeans, and therefore had I got those two technical aspects correct, again I would have gotten that long course personal best, and it would probably have been a significant long course personal best. I think we could be talking about roughly in the area of 0.75 to an entire second taken off had I gotten those two bits right, based on how well I controlled the pacing of that 200 meters freestyle. So some frustrating aspects to that event, some positives to take away from it. Ultimately, I think the thing to take away from it is the next time I end up doing a long course 200 meters freestyle, I should go in with confidence, knowing that a long course personal best and a significant long course personal best is well within my reach. And therefore, I just need to make sure that I get the reaction time right, the tumble turns right, or at least not messing them up, and also the pacing right. And in doing so, I will be able to massively improve on that 200 meters freestyle long course personal best. And it also means that going into Masters Nationals at the end of October, English Masters Nationals, short course as well, I should say, I should be pretty confident that I will be capable of another 200 meters freestyle personal best there. That one being a short course one as opposed to a long course one, but based on my performances over the course of these two galas, I should know that that personal best is well within me. So exciting times ahead, and I can go in with confidence that that is achievable. So that's it for this technical analysis. Thank you very much for watching. I've been David Westcough, and I'll see you again next time. For more swimming content, click on my profile picture and subscribe to my YouTube channel. For swimming coaching, visit westcough.com, or for another video of mine that I think you'd like, click on the thumbnail.